Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. Yesterday, if you were listening to the show, certainly appreciate that. I told you that I thought the Saints would probably start Jake Haener because the Saints tend to do things that create continuity. And Jake Haener had been there longer, and he was the backup last week, and it's just the easy thing to do. And then like 40 minutes later, they announced Rattler's starter. So that didn't age exceptionally well, but that's okay. Now we got that to react to.
We also didn't think they were going to announce it until Sunday.
I did say that too. So I was 0 for 2 there, and that segment just didn't really age all that great. But you know what? You do 10 hours a week, you're going to sound stupid probably more often than you like. So that's fine. We got the news now, and we can react to it now. Dennis Allen came to the podium yesterday and didn't waste any time, just said, this is our guy.
I'm sure you guys are all going to be wondering who's going to be the quarterback. Spencer Rattler will be the quarterback for this game. We talked a lot as a staff about what we felt like was the best thing for us and give us the best chance to win the game. That was the decision that we made, and we're excited about him getting an opportunity to go in there, and we'll let him go play and see what he can do.
And I think that I take Dennis Allen at face value there. I believe they looked at Rattler and they looked at Haener, and they got a great look at both of those guys in training camp and in the preseason, and they kind of knew what their plan was going to be if this happened. It's not exactly like this is coming out of nowhere. The Saints have had an injury at quarterback every year since 2018. So this was not something that was completely out of the blue. And they decided to go with Rattler. And I think that there's a section of the fan base that'll say, this is the future of the franchise. They're giving this guy a shot, high upside. This could be it. I would suggest that the Saints are thinking about the next 4 quarters, not the next 4 years. That's just where this franchise and organization are at this point. And that's okay. You can be thinking about the next 4 years when you wake up on Sunday morning, but that's not why the Saints are making this decision. I think they truly believe the best chance to win the game is with Rattler. Now, Dennis Allen did expound more on that decision to start the rookie.
Yeah, I think we just internally talked a lot about it and felt like, in this particular game that he was going to give us the best chance to win. Both him and Jake both have been practicing extremely hard, preparing to be the starter. It was kind of the conversation that we had at the beginning of the year that Jake would be the 2 to start, but there wasn't going to be any, really basically going to be kind of a week-to-week deal. And we just felt like this was, for this game, was going to give us the best opportunity.
And I think that is probably a little vague for some people, but you got to realize Dennis Allen's not going to get up there and go, well, our offensive line sucks. Have you watched them? They can't block anybody, and Rattler's a little bit more athletic, so we think he's going to be under duress the entire game, and we're going to put the guy back out there that can avoid sacks a little more often.
Yeah, considering when he played for South Carolina, they didn't have the best offensive line.
They did not.
He was running for his life a lot.
And he got sacked a lot.
Yes, but he's used to that, so at least he has some experience in knowing how when the play breaks down, he knows how to get out of it.
And so that said, I think that they really believe Rattler gives them the best chance to win based on the personnel that they've got and the skill set that he brings to the table. Now, the question was, does this matchup in some way favor Spencer Rattler? Because you said previously that Haener was going to start as a number 2, and then you had a game against the Chiefs where you were down and you brought in Haener, and this is a new week and it's a new quarterback. Was it a matchup thing with the Saints and Tampa?
Yeah, I think we'll keep all those things internal in terms of what went into making that decision. But there was a lot of discussion, and we came out of there feeling like this was the best thing to do.
And again, I think that's a perfectly acceptable answer. I think that Dennis Allen came to the podium and told the truth. He said that Spencer Rattler's going to start. That's not playing it coy. He said that we've talked about it as staff. I believe that. He said we're not really going to get into why we think that. That's totally fine with me. I think all of that is very, very much true. And then Dennis Allen was asked if Rattler's the starter going forward.
As it's been all along, with those two, we're really kind of in a week-to-week deal with each one of those guys. So we're worried about this week right now, and then we'll see where we're at after that.
So let's talk about this week, okay? It's a short week, but not technically a short week in terms of on-field practice time. Tuesday is generally an off day in the NFL. The Saints were out there on Tuesday because you got to get ready to play. So it's not like they're completely compromised for time. If this were next week and you were trying to get ready for a Thursday night game, you would be compromised for time. But you're not necessarily, because you do have the full allotment of practice time. I heard T-Bob talk about this morning on his show, and he's completely correct, and he echoes every sentiment that I had when I heard this yesterday. This is not a very good spot to drop Spencer Rattler into. I realize that everyone's really excited to watch him play because he's the backup quarterback and he's never made a mistake. That interior offensive line sucks. It sucks. They are not able to handle the elite players in the NFL. They got annihilated a couple of weeks ago on the interior by Jalen Carter. They got annihilated this past week by Chris Jones. The Saints cannot run the football against defenses like that, and that makes things very difficult on quarterbacks. They also haven't pass blocked exceptionally well. Case in point, Derek Carr is missing a couple weeks. You don't have Taysom Hill very likely to give you that change of pace, to take some direct snaps, to help in the running game. He's not there to help. That's tough. Rashid Shaheed did not practice on Wednesday. And that's not a huge deal when you think about Derek Carr and Rashid Shaheed, but I would suggest that maybe the guys who have not played in live games yet with Rashid Shaheed would like to have some work with him. And so you look at the matchup and you consider the weapons that are there. This is an adverse situation at best for Spencer Rattler. And then you keep in mind that the season, while it's not completely on the brink, it's wobbling. And a fourth straight loss is going to make everybody super grumpy. So, you toss a rookie in there after the starter's been terrible and you're 2-8. Well, the rookie can get his feet wet in there and kind of figure some things out. This team still has aspirations. There are still some expectations. There's a fan base that still knows what it saw a month ago when the team started 2-0 and has thoughts that they could turn this thing around. But if you can't lean on the run game and your offensive line doesn't hold up great and your number 2 receiver's not healthy and you don't really have a number 3 receiver and your gadget guy's not there, I'm stacking reasons why this is not a great spot. That all said, I will allow for 4% of you to think, man, this could be the day the franchise changes. 4%. 96%, this is awful. 4%, I would suggest, what if he's really good? Because you realize in the NFL, and you just go through the franchises division by division, you've got first-round quarterbacks, high-pick quarterbacks across the board. That's who plays quarterback in this league. You've got your one-offs with Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, and Dak Prescott, who they snagged in the middle rounds, and Kirk Cousins was a third-round pick. And you've got some guys that have beaten the odds. But a lot of it is Baker Mayfield and Bryce Young and Andy Dalton. And a lot of it is Deshaun Watson and Joe Burrow and Justin Fields. And a lot of it is Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams and Kyler Murray and Matt Stafford and Jared Goff. These are the starters. All those guys I routed off were really high picks or the first pick in the draft. Patrick Mahomes went in the first round. Josh Allen went in the first round. You get the picture. Aaron Rodgers went in the first round. Zach Wilson went in the first round. Tua went in the first round. All these guys that you look at across the league were really high picks. The odds that you toss a 5th rounder into the fire and you find gold, ain't a lot of Tom Brady's out there. Just aren't. And you hope that Spencer Rattler's there, and that's why I'll give you those 4%. But if your expectations are through the roof on Sunday, I'm just trying to lessen the fall. This may be a little clunky. But it is hope. It is hope. And tomorrow's probably a better time to talk about how big a game this is for the Saints and how important it is for this season because it's vital. This is more of a Spencer Rattler conversation. You got your lottery ticket, and that's kind of what you got. What do you think when you buy a lottery ticket? Do you go start rolling up credit card debt? No. But you are ready to look at the drawing. Kind of open that tab up and go, did we get this? And usually you toss it right in the trash. And that may be what happens here with Spencer Rattler. But maybe you get 4 of the numbers. Maybe not the Powerball, but maybe you get 4 of the numbers. Like, that's a pretty good payday. This is pretty good. We'll see. It's an interesting storyline if against the odds, right? That's kind of where we are with the Saints this week. Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.